remember during the 2016 campaign, one of the big political moments. If you think back to the big political moments in 2016, one of the main ones was when Donna Brazile had her come to Jesus moment, where she fell to her knees and admitted that she was feeding questions to Hillary Clinton campaign while working at CNN. Now, you can imagine this is somewhat of a big deal because this looks extraordinarily unethical, to put it in very most nano scale terms. Like, it's a massive big deal. It looks like you're cheating for your team. You essentially have a bias. Pick a pony. You can't have it both ways. Pick CNN or pick the camp. The catch is, she was a loyal company woman, meaning she went there and she understood who her allegiance was to while she was working at CNN. It was not to CNN. CNN promptly fired her from this. Despite being too corrupt to work at CNN, she wasn't corrupt enough, or she wasn't corrupt enough to work as head of the DNC. And she was promptly hired to the DNC. The previous head of the DNC that was fired for being corrupt, she was too corrupt to work for the DNC. She ends up getting a job on the Clinton campaign. She was not too corrupt to get a job on the Clinton campaign, apparently. Take a look at this. You can imagine that Fox News being enemies of Donna Brazile. In this case, they're Republican, she's a Democrat, dogs and cats, Hathaway's, McCoys, Catholics and whoever. In this fighting, you can imagine that this bad day for Donna Brazile, that Fox News was going to be chest thumping, that Fox News was going to take a chunk out of her hide just because it's politics. Let's take a look at some of Fox News on the day that Donna Brazile came out and not just admitted, this was twofold. One, when she was confronted, she lied about it. She lied about it multiple times. Denied. And then finally she came to Jesus, at which point, this is how Fox News, and I'm sorry to subject you to this, responded to this.
Mistake I will forever regret. What Donna Brazile did was shameful and treasonous to our political system and stability, even threatening to journalism in America. At least CNN, for their part, demanded her resignation.
He calls her treasonous. And as they go through the course of this conversation, meaning on the show itself, the conversations, they accept it as almost a flat fact that Donna Brazile is a loathsome person. At least just going by the chatter. She's, treasonous. She almost took down democracy. She got Trump elected. What's his name even goes so far as to say, anytime we have someone that's corrupt, we're going to call it a Brazile. Like, they go after her. They go after her on this. There is one very particular point that I want to bring up, though. Let's see, 5:39. I do have a point to this. I'm not forcing you to watch Fox News for no reason. All right, let's jump to here, because I thought this part was funny.
In our entire year in our lives, she decides to leak and muddy the waters.
But she will never work in politics again. Don't worry. Her career is over 100%. She has tainted herself. This is a criminal act as far as I'm concerned, leaking questions to a candidate beforehand. Highlights two things. Number one, if she is getting leaked that question, it's honest to understand that she was probably getting leaked more questions to the Clinton campaign. And we can only assume, I don't think that's conspiracy theory levels. I think
treasonous, corrupt, she'll never work again. And by the way, I don't necessarily think it's a conspiracy theory to say that she might have handed more questions. They just weren't necessarily put in emails. But it's sort of a moot point right now. Interestingly enough, that she would say she'll never work again. Thing is, Donna Brazile is going to work again. You know where Donna Brazile is going to work again? Fox News. The same Fox News that took a chunk out of her hide one show after the next when it came up that Donna Brazile got fired from CNN for being corrupt. That is an amazing turn face that I don't think many people expected. Donna Brazile kind of makes the point that, look, we need to be able to talk to each other, and so she's taking the job. That's not the reason she's taking the job. Let's be honest. She's taking the job because of the paycheck. Fox News said, we'll give you money. Donna Brazile said, I'm in the mood to take some money, and she takes the job. Is what it is. I don't see it as good, bad, or anywhere in between. I don't think it's necessarily wrong to go into the lion's den and make a point. You'd be surprised that you may be able to sway people over to your side if you're meeting them on their terms, if that makes sense. And I know it seems like you're beating your head against the wall sometimes, but sometimes there is minor movement on this, and I'm saying this from experience, where I've seen where people, their tenor changes a little. It's not something that you can argue them out of. People have more of emotional things to their belief systems. It becomes part of them. It's not just the belief. It becomes some aspect of them itself that's being attacked or being undermined or torn asunder. But slowly, sometimes they do come to some realization that, oh my God, this party's screwing me over. Nevertheless, Donna Brazile is working on Fox News. You can imagine Democrats did not like this, and you can imagine some right-wingers also did not like this. So, is what it is. Donna Brazile will be cashing checks from the Republican wings of the Republican Party. Let's say it that way. All right, guys. If you enjoy the content, please feel free to share, like, subscribe. You can always support through PayPal or Patreon. Also, we have a patron appreciation show on Sunday at 1 p.m. We've been having it for the past, well, I've had the patron appreciation going on for months, but we've really put more focus on it in order to put new content into Patreon itself. My wife and I do the show, so it's a little bit different than this show. It's more laid back, but we always have a really good time, and we usually have a lot of people there with us. So please join us. And the show is for the patrons, so after the show will go up specifically for the patrons. It's what I try to do, the least I can do to give back to my people who support the content. So, but also, I want to give a shout out to, since we are live, Cheryl. Cheryl sent me this book. This book is awesome. This book is absolutely awesome. I've sat there and read like the first, maybe 50 pages within the first few hours. Thank you. My point is thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. All right, I'm going to end this here. I will see you guys in a few because I have a few other streams on this one. This one is just kind of small. So, thanks, guys.